Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the Browns lately, you already know that the mood around Cleveland is oscillating between cautious optimism and pure excitement. And why wouldn't it? We're talking about DESHAUN Watson, a player whose name alone sparks a lot of debate, hope, and curiosity. Just a few months ago, many fans were worried about his recovery, about whether he'd be able to return to his previous form, or if the injury would sideline him for the entire season. But here we are, and the latest updates are promising enough to give Browns fans a reason to dream bigger. Let's rewind a bit and set the stage. It's been a roller coaster since Cleveland traded for Watson in 2022. The expectations were sky high, given his Pro Bowl credentials and the talent he's displayed throughout his career. The Browns, eager to finally find a franchise quarterback who could elevate the team into serious playoff contention, made a bold move, signing him to a fully guaranteed contract worth a staggering $230 million through 2026. That's no small change, and it speaks volumes about how much the organization believes in him. But as we all know, football isn't played on paper, and Watson's tenure in Cleveland has been far from smooth. His first season with the Browns was marred by inconsistent play, some tough losses, and a quarterback position that never quite settled. Then, the injury, an Achilles tear suffered in October, threw a wrench into everything. Achilles injuries are notoriously tough to come back from, especially for athletes who rely heavily on explosiveness and quick cuts. Watson initially started his recovery process with hope, and there were videos circulating on social media showing him running, doing drills, and seemingly making progress. But then, in January, life threw him a setback, a complication that required a second surgery. That's when the real uncertainty set in. Browns fans, I'm sure you all remember the anxiety around his recovery timeline, the questions about whether he'd return this season, or if he'd be held out as a precaution. And yet, despite all that, recent videos have sparked a wave of renewed hope. These clips show Watson going through passing drills with his personal quarterback coach, Quincy Avery. They're not just casual jogs, they're controlled, concentrated effort. And the most telling part, Watson himself was quoted saying, "7 months and we back at it," which indicates that he's feeling optimistic about his return. He even added, "more glory," and called the injury a small thing to a giant, a phrase that really captures his mindset, determined, resilient, refusing to let setbacks define him. Watching him run, throw, and push himself in these videos, you can't help but get excited, because it's clear that Watson is inching closer and closer to being fully healthy again. Now, of course, the Browns haven't given an official timetable for his return. That's typical in these situations. Coaches and medical staff tend to be cautious, especially with a player coming back from such a serious injury. But the signs are encouraging enough that many insiders believe there's a real chance Watson will be active at some point during this season. And that's huge, folks. Imagine a Cleveland Browns team that's still trying to find its rhythm, suddenly getting a boost from their franchise quarterback, someone who can be a difference maker in critical moments. It's worth mentioning that Watson remains an expensive, yet inactive, part of the Browns' quarterback room. His contract, as you all know, is fully guaranteed, $230 million through 2026, meaning the Browns owe him that money whether he's on the field or not. That kind of financial commitment isn't trivial, especially considering the complexities of NFL cap management. Despite his injury struggles and the mixed results so far, Cleveland invested heavily in Watson because they believe in his talent and potential. But from a football perspective, this situation is quite complicated. The Browns are currently navigating a four-man quarterback competition, which includes Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. They've even indicated that carrying 4 quarterbacks on the roster could be a possibility moving forward. Now, here's where things get interesting. If Watson is cleared to play, it's going to create some tough decisions. Cleveland has invested so much in him that they can't simply cut him loose without a massive cap hit. You're talking about a dead cap figure that could be a record. So, the question is, will they keep him on the active roster, or will they stash him on the physically unable to perform list for the rest of the season? This kind of strategic decision is typical for NFL teams dealing with injured stars, especially when so much money is involved. Some analysts suggest that the Browns might prefer to keep Watson on PUP, especially if they believe his return might be delayed or if they want to manage the roster more flexibly. Despite everything, Watson hasn't been a passive spectator in this process. He remained around the facility, participating in team meetings and even traveling with the team to their preseason opener in Carolina. You could see him on the sideline, rooting for his teammates, staying engaged. That's important because it shows his commitment, not just to himself, but to the team and the fans. His social media updates have been a mix of determination and confidence, with Watson repeatedly emphasizing his belief in himself and his work ethic. Remember that April video where he said, "Everyone is doubting me. Everyone don't believe in me." It's clear that Watson is motivated to prove that he can return to his elite level, despite all the doubts and setbacks. And let's not forget, the injury itself, a torn Achilles, is one of the most challenging injuries for any athlete to recover from, especially for a quarterback who relies heavily on explosive movements and quick throws. Watson has also missed significant time in recent seasons due to shoulder injuries, adding to the hurdles he's faced. But he's a fighter, and his recent efforts show a level of dedication that's hard to ignore. Browns fans, this is about more than just hope. It's about resilience, belief, and the possibility that this season might still hold something special. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. If Watson does come back healthy and ready to go, it could redefine the Browns' entire season. Cleveland's offense has been inconsistent, but with Watson's playmaking ability, his arm strength, improvisational skills, and football IQ, they could unlock a new level of competitiveness. The team's offensive line has been solid, and the receiving core, with players like Amari Cooper, can take advantage of a quarterback who can stretch defenses vertically. But all of that hinges on Watson's health and readiness. If he's not quite there yet, the Browns will have to manage the situation delicately, balancing the desire to get him on the field with the need to protect his long-term health. And it's not just about the immediate season. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam has been pretty upfront about his disappointment with Watson's performance so far, calling his tenure a swing and miss. That's a candid admission, but it also fuels the motivation for Watson to come back and silence critics. Cleveland's fanbase has been patient, but they're also hungry for success. They want to see their team competing at the highest level, and they're holding their breath, hoping that Watson's comeback story will be the key to finally breaking through and making a real postseason run. Looking ahead, if Watson can return to form, the Browns could have a potent offensive attack that keeps defenses guessing. His ability to extend plays, throw deep, and make those tough throws under pressure is what makes him a special talent when healthy. His journey back from injury is a testament to his resilience, but it's also a reminder of how fragile NFL careers can be. Every snap, every throw, every decision is critical now. Browns fans, you should be excited but also patient, because the road to full recovery is a process, and it's one that Watson is determined to conquer. In the end, all eyes are on Cleveland now. Will Watson return this season? Will he recapture the magic that made him one of the most exciting quarterbacks in the league? The signs are promising, and the team's faith in him remains strong. This season could still be a defining chapter in his career, and for the Browns, it could mean the difference between a good season and a historic one. So stay tuned, because the story isn't over yet, and there's still a lot of football to be played. Browns fans, this is the moment to rally behind your team, to believe in the comeback, and to hope that your quarterback's journey back to greatness is just getting started. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on Deshaun Watson's recovery? Do you believe he'll be able to return to his Pro Bowl form this season? Are you confident he'll be the guy leading Cleveland deep into the playoffs? Or do you think the injury has taken too much out of him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. This team has a passionate fan base, and your voice is part of what makes this community special. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. This story is far from over, and with Watson's determination, the Browns' future looks brighter than ever. Thanks for sticking with us, and as always, go Browns.